Full controller support, which is also beautiful. Gotta love that. Now, this also has local co-op, and I want to point out something that they're doing absolutely right here for a Kickstarter demo. Now, this demo, totally available to anybody, and they did a very smart thing. Two things, actually. One, click here to see the Kickstarter, and two, type in your name here to subscribe to their mailing list. I can't tell you how amazingly useful of a tool this is for people. This is a way to get people who really like your game, to get them... get your stuff to them immediately. Now, I would even go as far as to point out, I don't know if this is at the end of the demo, but this should totally be at the end of the demo as well as this. Not just bring you back to the main menu to see this stuff, but like right at the end. It's like, if you liked what you just played, you should do all this. Fun stuff. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Oh, now look at that. We transition from the main menu to the character select screen immediately. That's a nice piece of polish. Like, can we go back even? We can't, but that's alright. If we could go back, I just wanted to point out how I like all the menu elements didn't matter anymore, disappeared, and then what you thought was just a little something, like, you know, just, oh, I can see the characters on the side, actually ends up being super important. I love it. Jump right in. Now, I do dig the aesthetic of this game. Look at that. Starting off in immediate action. So this game has full shooting. This is going to be get messy. Alright. Now this game features 360-degree shooting, which is really cool, and you get a little bit of tutorial info right there immediately. I think that could be presented better, honestly. It'd be kind of cool if maybe something flies at you, like a sign like falls on the card or something that shows you that, instead of just like, hey, here it is on screen because reasons. Oh boy. I like that the first enemies blow up. There's nothing like a good explosion to introduce you to a game. Now, the way you actually shoot with this is R2 for PlayStation users, and use your right analog stick to choose the direction you want to aim. I dig that. Oh boy, do I dig that. The enemies are pretty good. They just have a little simple flight pattern that they follow around in. You just gotta dodge as you go. Or shoot. Nothing too hard, though I've already taken one hit, like a noob. Wow. This game really doesn't handhold. Alright, so... Oh, did that wrong. Okay. Now, I will say, because I didn't really know what X was going to do, I didn't really know how that would turn out. Now that I know, it's better. You know, learn through painful death. Did he just get his head sliced off by a piece of the background? I love it. So I guess that this game has a sort of, you could call it a blank mechanic, I suppose, from Gungeon, where you can kind of cancel out all the projectiles around you. That's beautiful. Ah, I guess that was a lot of them. Ah, but you'd be wrong. It's all the ones that I didn't kill. They're back for more. I really dig that this game literally throws in the action at the beginning. I hope that that's not just a demo thing. I really hope this is how it is all the time, forever. That is really great. The slow, overwhelming number of enemies. How did I get ourselves into this mess? Ah, okay, so we're getting dropped into an earlier that day moment. Totally fine, but I dig that. I do. But you'd think that would mean you'd want to be super powerful right then, right? Wow, no mercy on the little animals. Smooth landing. Listen up, your goal is to neutralize a primordial creature northeast of here. I like that he is literally just the hand. He is like the hand that controls everything. I love it. HoloCorp is willing to pay a small fortune for a sample of its DNA. That's what I like to hear. Consider it dead. So let's go ahead and take all this money that obviously these ancient creatures have. Alright, what do we got right here? Feedback. That head getting sliced are the main selling point so far. Everything else is pure awesomeness as well, right? I love that moment. That was just like, holy crap, he's missing his head. Alright, so right here, good little feature right here. We kind of get introduced to the concept of double jumping pretty early. These... Actually, that might be a bug. Sometimes I can get up, sometimes I can't. Oh, and whoops, I think I have something in the background that's causing a bit of lag. Let's cancel that out. That should help a little. But that's alright. So, we get introduced to double jumping pretty early, kind of by being forced to learn about it. We could go the other way, but explorers are definitely going to try. They're going to see, hey, I can't make this jump. Let's see if I can double jump. But it might not affect the normal first-person player, like first-time player, I guess. Then, of course, you say it right here. Now you are forcing it, kind of, which is still good. Little sign tutorials. I do feel like the overusage of signs, though, is a little much, you know? I don't think we need that many signs to tell us what to do. If only because, for one, I think most people who play this game are going to have an idea that double jumping exists in most platformers. But It'd be a nicer thing if you forced us to have to do it. Like if there was literally a roadblock that we couldn't pass without double jumping. Right there kind of was. You could argue that the roadblock was that you would fall down, you would go down here, and then you'd have to go, well, I guess you'd go in here. What would happen if you didn't know about double jumping? This would probably confuse people, honestly. How am I supposed to get through that? You know the drill. Get a new ability, unlock a new area. That's how it goes. Metroidvanias. The formula is real. Remember, you have a map, so just come back later. I didn't know I had a map. I'll try shooting it anyway. You never know. It might... you never know until you shoot it, right? I kind of really am praying that there's a dialogue that says, like, you're an idiot. Stop it. Please? Okay, I guess that's too much to ask, but that'd be funny. The hand is just like, come on, dude. This is not happening. You should know better. I can't tell you how much I dig the fact that my boss is literally just the hand. So I guess, yeah, you're kind of forced to learn to double jump here, otherwise you're going to go through all that lengthy stuff over there. And that's fine. I guess that's definitely a method that works. But I think a barrier would be a little more effective, like something that's just so tall you need to double jump to get over it. Matter of opinion, I suppose. Now, what about the control scheme? So I am digging the 360-degree shooting. That is going to definitely come in handy considering the bullet hell nature of this game. But it makes it a little tricky to shoot and jump, if only because my thumb has to kind of... Let me show you what I'm doing here. My thumb has to kind of like press down. It's kind of hard to see. And that makes it a little tricky to do both, especially if you're trying to shoot in the opposite direction, like if you're trying to shoot over here. I'm doing this weird like claw thing with my hand, and it feels a little unnatural. It feels wrong, actually. Ah! I was just about to suggest something, and lo and behold, it's exactly what they did. L2 jumps! Holy crap, these guys are geniuses. They are answering my feedback before I even fully make it. I love it. I love everything about it. So these guys clearly thought through their schemes. Their schemes and stuff. I'm digging it. Now what's L1 do? Anything? Nothing obvious. R1 also nothing obvious? That's probably a power-up related thing. Mouse and keyboard master race. Nah, not for platformers. For platformers, I love having me a good controller in hand. Now what have we here? It's all glowy and sparkly. Ah, health. Twice now they have anticipated my feedback. Twice! I love it. That's what just goes to show you. Good playtesting means a lot. And you can tell these developers really knew what they were doing when they playtested this. Ah, I am bad at the jumps. No, I want to live. Now, I dig the fact that these guys are reactive to you. They get tougher when you start getting tougher. You shoot them, they start rolling at you. First power? I love that we get a power this soon in. Oh, okay, it's only part of a heart fragment, I'm guessing. I wouldn't have gotten a heart fragment out of that until I saw, like, the... Well, for one thing, that it was 1/4, which is just a standard gaming trope at this point. Now, I also want to point out adaptive music. Did anyone else notice that once I finished that boss, suddenly the music got more intense? Yeah, it did. I really hope that becomes a recurring theme here because I love it. The whole time it was just kind of this background audio, but it's got... What do they call this one? This is vertical reorchestration, where certain elements of the song are actually added in or upgraded or whatever as you go, which is beautiful. Alright, let's see. B, what's this? Ah, dodge roll! We have dodge rolls! I wonder if there's a shortcut to dodge roll. Maybe not. Jumping and dodge rolling, I guess, don't get along. Yeah, it probably is a good keyboard and mouse game. Well, I'm going to stick with the controller for now. We'll see if I switch it around. Ooh, that's weird. He didn't dodge... interesting. Let's get our health back, because I'm sure I'm going to need it. So you can't dodge in the air. That's good to know. Maybe I was just off the ground when I did that. So you might need to take a second to prepare your dodge roll. Got to plan that out. Okay, so we did all that. Now we go back. It is Metroidvania. Backtracking is totally a thing. Unless I missed something about that cave that was obvious. I think I did. So, what did I miss? I guess I could keep going, maybe? Oh, was that not a bottomless pit? I'll bet that wasn't a bottomless pit. Let's take a look. I mean, it is a Metroidvania. I guess bottomless pits don't exist. I think I was just kind of overtaken by the action-y nature of this game that I assume I see a pit, it's got to be bottomless, right? Well, let's take a closer look. So let's talk about why I thought this was a bottomless pit. It doesn't look like it is. There we go. One thing I do notice is if I'm here, I can't press select to go back out. Select is what brings it up, and it's also not what brings it out. So I keep pressing select here and nothing happens. So then I naturally press A. That brings me to my options of all things, which feels a little odd. And then I realize, nope, I gotta press B to go back. So, yeah, there's no progression through here. So the only other option would be going down here, right? See, it's not a bottomless pit. But that's tricky because I think a lot of people would get confused by that and just naturally think it's got to be a bottomless pit. Now, I just realized what they're doing here is they're forcing you to learn about dodge rolling. It's a must-know. I assume that his brain pan is his weak spot, or is it his bulbous eyeball? Bulbous eyeball! Always go for the eyes. But only when he's in big form? Oh, he's got like a little brain underneath his skull. Oh, that's cool. Good design. I dig it. This enemy design's really top-notch, actually, especially for so early on, to really force you to learn about dodge rolling. You immediately learn when he extends himself that there's only two possibilities. Now, I thought the first possibility, which was totally wrong, that you could jump through the middle and the pink part didn't hurt you. That was totally wrong. No, in fact, he's blocking off all escapes, so you need to dodge. That mentally tells the player immediately, holy crap, there's no way for me to go, I gotta use the thing that I just learned to get over here to beat him. Brilliant. And for reference, Yokos had actually not thought that it was a bottomless pit. So that's probably just on me and a handful of players, but it is something to keep in mind. The main reason I thought it was bottomless was because the camera kind of stayed at a flat pace. It never moved up or down during that whole time. Instead, it just kind of stayed flat. And it never kind of directed me downwards in any way. I saw that, and I thought it was a pit. Now, yeah, BP Outlaws, Jeff just said, could show something in the bottomless pit or jumping out of it, purposely falling into it, making like a staircase of rocks or a ladder to make it more inviting. Or or put a platform in the middle. That's a good idea. Like a platform you could jump through. To make it look more inviting. Put a platform in the middle of it. That's hard to land on the player, so it's likely to fall into a pit. I'm probably reading this all wrong. I'm horrible at reading things. But yeah, have the pit earlier that you have to fall into to learn. Now, we did have, like, verticality areas earlier, right? We had verticality areas earlier, except the camera moved up and down pretty frequently in those areas, didn't it? So the thing that really threw me off was just the fact that the camera didn't really direct downwards at all. It was just completely flat. Now, going forward now, though, I'm probably going to know, hey, there's probably no bottomless pits in this game, because that doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a Metroidvania. There should be no area that's inaccessible unless there's lava or something. Alright, so hand. Hey, I see you're getting quite a bit of action going on. You should use the store terminal and buy a better weapon. Oh, hell yes, sir. I like the hand. Alright, it's got the pistol, rapid fire, higher rate of fire, powerful grenade launcher. For 50? Oh my. That's probably getting bought. Or a laser gun. Look at that. So, we get some pretty good stats here. We got a DPS, which, that's actually not good because that's 0. Laser gun, 510. Devastating nostalgia, 66.67 DPS with a rate of fire of 66.67. That's so demonic. And it's the Contra gun! Oh god, we have to buy the Contra gun. So it looks like we can only have 2 guns at a time. Is that what's going on here? So let's see. There we go. It's R1 to switch. Mr. Mad says, oh my god, this game is charming. Good thing that the heart charm after the boss was big and visible, but the way it was shown in the corner highlighted was kind of lazy to me. Could be nice to maybe have a separate sprite for different levels of completion. Right now, it's just one perfect quarter being more opaque than the rest. Love the hand character, by the way, right? That's just creative. That's just creative. Alright, so we got our different guns now. Let's see how this Contra gun does. Oh my, yes. Oh, it just tears through them. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna have to try that grenade launcher next. I need to see explosives in this game. I need them in my life. Now, this kind of reinforces the concept of why in the beginning part didn't we get a super powerful gun, right? I mean, we could have enemies that can still soak up the damage, I guess, but if we're starting off at a later time, we definitely want to feel like a badass starting out. We want this game to come to its peak immediately. Like, we want to know what is the best we're going to get out of this game. Now I'm going to reference another popular Metroidvania called Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And in that game you played as Alucard, and you literally started off as a total, complete badass with all of your gear, but then you end up getting it all taken away. And that's when you feel all weak and stuff again, and then you're like, oh, I'm at the beginning of the game now. Well, I kind of think that feeling would be perfectly done here as well. Alright, we got another piece. Yoink. Oh! Yeah, separate sprites would definitely be good. Definitely look at, we just said it earlier, Guacamelee is a great reference for that. You have kind of like a frame, and then you have a different individual cutout that kind of gets slammed in there. I think Guacamelee did a good job with that. That's definitely a good one to take reference from. Oh, hello. Now they're all coming in from everywhere. I love it. Gotta really react to all these bullets and all these enemies. Starting guns definitely feel weak, but they'll definitely get stronger, I'm sure of that. Higher rate of fire and whatnot. Yeah, come on. I like how this guy just has floating shells, and then he's like, I'm gonna be exposed. Never mind, I won't. I'm also glad that I have infinite ammo right now. I have a feeling that might change in the future, but I'm okay with it as is. I almost died. What's up here, I wonder? I suppose we'll find out when I get the wall climbing ability, huh? Now, I want to point out the beauty of these backgrounds. First off, that's awesome, because that clearly contains a heart piece and I want to go to there. That is good, like, foreshadowing as to, like, hey, you want to be up there. Find a way to get up there. Well, let's see if we can go up there from here. We cannot for now. It is a little weird that there's a disconnect there, unless, of course, it's a destroyable wall. It's not a destroyable wall. That's a bit of a oh, no, it's a go-throughable wall. That's even better. Haha! Good map design. Me gusta. The boss has a shield face. Ah! I feel like that could be way more exaggerated and awesome. I'm feeling like the juice there is not at full capacity. I want a full sip of that juice right there. I want that to be, like, slamming down on it and shaking and, like, oh! Okay, maybe not like an angelic choir. That's not this game's style, but more like heart up! It's like, oh yeah, you just got a heart on, boy. I don't know, that's probably immature and nasty, but here we are. You did come to me for advice, so here we are. What is all this then? This reads, the key that touches the soil shall punish you. What does that even mean? I couldn't agree more. Bob, I'm going to call you. I assume your name's Bob because I read it said Bob right there. This is the third game in a row that I've had with a Bob in it. I just want to point that out. We had Bob's Arctic Adventure, we had Plankin' Bob, and now we got Bob, Mr. Shooty McShootpants here. I assume that's his last name. That's the last name I'm giving him. I'm sticking to it. Health point! Ah, good. Let's buy more goodies. So the Contra gun's currently equipped, so if we grab a rapid fire, can we just put that on anything? Or is that... Nope, it's a separate gun, I think. Like, I can't tell if it's an upgrade or a separate gun. I'm half afraid to put it on my second gun. But, oh well. Now, then there's the grenade launcher. You know what? I actually want the grenade launcher. And since I own it, I can swap. That is good news. I would have been kind of annoyed if otherwise. So, low damage, big damage. Or low rate of fire, big damage. Okay. So let's try this grenade launcher out, shall we? Okay. Alright. Oh, it overheats. We have an overheat system in this game. Alright. I can dig it. Let's try out the laser gun, too. You know, it'd be kind of cool. As much as I do love the layout of this screen, this is, by the way, a very beautiful use of the scan line look, especially considering we're all zoomed in on it. You can kind of see the frame around it and everything. It really sells what we're looking at here. What I will say is I would kind of like it if there were somewhere that kind of showed a preview of the weapon in use. I don't know if there's enough space for it. I'll confess that right now. But maybe, just maybe, if you kind of moved up that part right here, I can almost touch it, that part right there that says what it is and everything, and had a little frame underneath it perhaps that said, that kind of showed him shooting it or something like that, or her shooting it, that'd be kind of cool. Patreon feedback, what we got here? Weapon mods, please! I'm not entirely convinced that there aren't weapon mods in this game yet. I haven't seen enough of it to make that claim. I think they said that there are, so perhaps we'll find out. Let's see what the laser gun does. Woo! Yeah, we're holding on to this. You know, if we're going to have an overheat gun, then I think the grenade launcher's got to go away. Woohoo! Woohoo! Feedback. The coin pickup sound is a bit wimpy in your opinion. It could just be you, but the ding sound seems like it, the ding sound of some sort would be more fitting. You know, admittedly, it hasn't even fazed me, which is probably exactly your point. It really hasn't fazed me that I've heard any kind of a ding sound or anything, you know what I'm saying? Let's go with rapid fire. We haven't tried him out yet. Not you. Now, one thing I do want to point out is, strangely enough, Y, which is kind of standard in every shooter that I know for switching weapons, doesn't switch weapons. It's actually the interact button. I'm not saying it's bad that it's the interact button, but I am saying, can't it also be the switch weapon button? Circles dodge roll? Oh boy. I think that R1 and L1 is kind of a strange button choice, if I'm being honest. Alright, so let's hear this money sound now. Yeah, it sounds more like a scanner almost, doesn't it? I want to see if I can get them to come to me without hitting the spikes. Ah, look at that, like a badass. So I can see that. Yeah, it is a little wimpy. I think that could be a way more satisfying and gratifying sound. You know what I mean? Overall, the sound design in this game does feel just a smidge wimpy, in my opinion. I think that it could definitely be upped for what we're dealing with here. Like this laser gun sound, it sounds more annoying and whiny than badass. You know what I'm saying? Listen to that. Listen to that very carefully. It doesn't fit for me. It doesn't feel like awesome, you know? I want it to sound like, you know, I mean, maybe that's too annoying, I suppose, but maybe I think that the high-pitched grinding noise that we have right here, it sounds a little iffy. Should be the mouse wheel. Let's see if it is the mouse wheel. You know what? I can't do it, I guess. I can't switch back and forth seamlessly between mouse and keyboard and controller, so I couldn't tell you. Gungeon has great lasers. Couldn't tell you about that, unfortunately. I've never gotten a laser in Gungeon. But I will say, I think that sound design could definitely use a second pass on this game. These enemies are super annoying, but I think they're doing their job beautifully. Oh my god, they can fall in. Also, you know what I don't use enough is that. And probably because it doesn't do what I'd hope it would. I was kind of hoping it would knock them back. Now, we do need to talk about jumping, and we'll talk about that when I'm busy not dying. Alright, you know what we need? We need grenades. I was wrong. I was wrong! I'll confess to being wrong. That's on me. Grenade launcher, get over here. You are taking the place of Mr. Laser Gun. And we definitely need more heals. Maz agrees with the laser sound. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot more that can be done. Even that explosion. Let's. Did that hurt me? Holy crap! Explosions hurt. Okay, back it up. Oh my god! How many times am I going to backtrack here? Well, while I'm here, before we get really crazy, let's talk a little about jumping. I noticed if you're right up against a platform, and this is obviously a bug, but I want to point it out because it's an important bug to address in terms of polish. If you try to do a jump while you're up against this, or you're going up against it, it doesn't actually seem to go all the way up. Look at that. Like if you jump against something like that, it doesn't. If you hit a wall while you're going upwards, it actually stops your ascension or slows it down because of friction. And because of that, you don't actually get what you expect in terms of height, and that can get you killed if you're not careful. You got to make sure that your enemy isn't dragging against the side of walls when you're jumping up them in platformers, because that can really play with players' expectations and end up getting them killed when they least expect it. Oh my god, I'm gonna die so bad with this grenade launcher. Change! Oh my god! Ah, I'm down. So what happens when you die? Let's see. Okay, right back to the beginning of that area. That's actually not as bad as I expected. I don't think I even lost any money. That's actually really good. That's super kind. That is unbelievably kind. Now let's see. Do I lose the money that I collected? Let's see. What's the punishment here? So 1,510 right now. 1,510, you keep all the money too. That is super kind. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it's kind. I don't see that often these days, especially Metroidvanias. We're expected to, like, every save point is life in a Metroidvania. In a way, this is an interesting development. I'm gonna actually go back to the pistol, I think. So pistol and contra gun. Let's see how that plays out. But these enemies, my god, they are bullet sponges, aren't they? And it's kind of tricky because they have high mobility, and them touching you hurts. So you're in a very close quarters area, and you gotta kill them, but it's really hard to kill them before they can reach you, so it's kind of a balancing act. Now, what if they're mid-jump? Okay, so the knockback doesn't do anything to them when they're mid-jump. I think that would be like a good defense against these guys, is to be able to just knock them back. But right now, that's not much of an option. We can't really jump to avoid them because we'll hit the spikes. This is probably the safest place to fight them, and maybe that's where I should be when I want to fight them. But I guess the punishing difficulty isn't really that big of a deal when you consider it really doesn't matter if you die. It's just more of an inconvenience than anything. In fact, it also doesn't matter if I don't kill them, does it? I can just opt out of killing them for right now because they're too hard and just run. Yeah, this game is definitely set up to be like a punishing dream. Oh. Ah, look at him. That was I couldn't even see that jump until it was a little too late. These guys got some legs, I'll give them that. Alright, so let's just try to avoid and see how this goes. Avoid and evade. So I guess this is definitely a game where they want you to pick your battles. Killing everything on screen is not necessarily the smart move. Sure, you get money. But what's money? What good is money when you're dead? Hospital bills are expensive. I will tell you that right now, folks. They ain't cheap. Oh, a little bit of feedback here. High HP enemies are a bad idea in general. It's not fun to spend 20 minutes shooting one enemy in order to kill them. And I will definitely agree with that. But I will also point out that not every enemy seems to be high HP. I do wonder if this is on purpose, if they really want you to do a sort of a balancing act here, where you got to choose between fighting and running. Now, obviously, as you get better weapons, you're going to be more geared for fighting. But a lot of people, especially when you start off a game, are going to want to fight. Now, if you want an enemy that you need to run from, it's probably better if you make them immune to your weapon. Oh, spikes are one-hit kills. Yikes. Good thing that's a save point. Okay, so it would probably be a better idea if you make an enemy that you want them to be avoided, if you make them immune to your default weapons until you get a weapon that's strong enough to flat-out kill them, you know? But damn, these guys are precise with their jumps. They don't even, like, overshoot. And that was another example of me getting killed right there because I got dragged against the wall while I was trying to double jump. So I couldn't do too much right there. But now we can't get in that running situation I was talking about before, so it kind of removes the justification for avoidance because they're just going to hound you down. You know, you gotta really trick these guys into the spike pick. And again, this could be alleviated to a degree if you could, like, push them into the spike pit right there. Like, if I could push them in with my yell, that'd be awesome. That'd be a good tactic. But damn, if their jumps are so precise, they don't really overshoot much at all. Sometimes they do, but not often. There we go. Now, it's not that I have a problem with a hard game, but I do have a problem with games that are hard for the sake of hard instead of hard for the sake of design. Sounds like a boss. I hear bossy music. Fountain of Youth! Alright, so, any new things to unlock? Nope. Okay, so let's go in with what we got. I do like that even though we can only have 2 weapons at a time, we have to choose very carefully. Now, this is already shaping up to be a very cool boss fight. Look at this stuff. Look at all the stuff we have going on here. So we have some clear targets that we can shoot, not that I know what they do. You'd think his eye would be vulnerable, but that doesn't appear to be the case. Either that or I'm hitting him at the wrong time. Let's see. Yeah, eyeball doesn't deal damage, but its little buddies, they need to die, because they seem to spawn a bunch of little dudes. Ow. Now let's talk about more tactics here. Yes, that does work. That's exactly what I was hoping would work, is if you use your shout, you actually knock them out of their rolling state. That's beautiful. That is such a good advanced tactic. I love it. I love it. More like that. You made a great mechanic with that shout. Let me tell you right now. That can be a great mechanic for a great many things. And I really dig the idea behind it. So, as long as you utilize that to the fullest of your ability to be like a really big mainstay of character attack and defense, I think that could be a really big deal. I like it a lot. Smart, smart man. That feels great, too. I love that shout. Though I do think that the sound could be better. Let's talk more about sound design again. Let's listen to that. There's definitely a yell there, but it's a quiet yell. It's an almost, like, not that scary yell, you know? This is supposed to be something that knocks enemies back, that really gives them... It scares the crap out of them. It needs to feel like, holy crap, I need to get out of my rolling state right now, or this dude's going to kill me, but wait, he kills me when I go out of the rolling state. Oh my god, I made a mistake. That's the kind of yell sound that I want. I want this to be like, oh my god, I should not be fighting this. That's what I want it to sound like. Alright, now he's all pissed off. There we go, now he can get hurt. Now, his beams are yellow, and he turns white when he gets hit. But it's like a big white. But his beams are also part white, right? So, it's kind of tricky to see them at first, at least. I'm gonna die. Back it up, back it up. Fortunately, death isn't that big of a consequence. It just means I'm going to have to start the fight over. Oh my, he is upscaling. Thank God for that shout mechanic. That's all I'm saying. Shout mechanic kicks ass. And you can do it pretty frequently too, but you know what there isn't? There's no audio cue to let you know that the yell is ready. So I'm just kind of going based off timing and hoping that I'm right now. Oh, get out of here. Because if I'm wrong, I'm going to die. So, like, if there were an audio cue that made it very obvious that, hey, there is absolutely, you are ready to go. You're good to go. Now, back on sound design here, this is a great big clusterfuck of sound effects right here. There's so much going on that I can't hear much of anything over the sound of him getting hit. Listen to that. That is a very loud, wet sound. It's not that the sound is bad, it's just it's too frequent, is what I would say. It's too often. You might want to look for some kind of a sound overflow, like just to make sure you can't do too much with too many of the same sound at once. All right, looks like we got our first power up. What do we got? Whoa! I have more of whatever that was. Jeans, I guess. Oh, he looks angry. Yeah, crush that cigar. You found the primordial DNA we were looking for. He's so happy. And now he's got a non-crushed cigar. I just love that. If this wasn't a demo, you would have gotten the dodge ability. What? The dodge ability? Thanks, I guess. But what does that mean exactly? Oh, fourth wall breaking. It means when the game comes out, you should buy and tell your friends about it. Ah, a bit aggressive on the sales pitch there. I'll just move along now. Okay, I was kind of worried that'd be the end of the demo. It might still be, but still. So that's solid. That's really cool. Let's see. The game needs dynamic ducking in certain situations. Dynamic ducking, like the character automatically ducks if something gets a little too close to their head. That'd be cool. I dig that idea. Dynamic ducking. And now you'd be able to do the dodge roll. I see. You know what? I just noticed. You see this? See that right here? That looks an awful lot like this up here. I think that's supposed to be part of the boss. But how would that be part of the boss if you get it afterwards? I don't know. I'm not going to question it. Uh-oh. What's all this then? What this? Wait, what? He was protecting that. Oh my god, there's an overarching story, and oh my god, it is the end of the demo. Aw, also, dude, that guy looks like really defined and stuff. Well, I suppose that is unfortunately the end of the Greedy Guns demo, but as it says right here, this is totally on Kickstarter, and as I said before, this should totally be a link that you can click right at the end here, as well as a mailing list that you can mess with right here. But this definitely harkens back to the old shareware days, I feel like, you know what I'm saying? It feels good. It feels good to see that for one reason or another. But yeah, this has been Greedy Guns, folks, and I do think it is definitely a very interesting and beautiful game with a lot of potential. It's got good mechanics, but it's definitely got kind of a bullet sponge factor. Now, this game, as I said, does have local co-op. Unfortunately, I can't really experiment with that right now, but such is life. But yeah, so that was Greedy Guns, and yes, I